Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of Visionary Talks by Governance Now. This is Kailash Nath Adhikari, Managing Director, Governance Now, a Shri Adhikari Brothers Enterprise, and it is my extreme proud privilege today to welcome none other than Pawan Khera ji. Pawan ji, बहुत-बहुत स्वागत आपका.
Thank you, Kailash ji.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Pawan Khera ji is a politician and a member of the Indian National Congress. He's also the national spokesperson of the Congress Party. He's known as a firebrand spokesperson of the Congress Party, and because of his hard-hitting replies, he's very famous among the youth who support the Congress Party. He's been a political advisor to Srimati Sheila Dikshit ji for 15 years. He's also seen on TV debates on behalf of the Congress Party, defending the party and giving the stand of his party to the viewers. Pawan ji, बहुत-बहुत स्वागत आपका.
Thank you.
Pawan ji, मेरा पहला सवाल, on your Twitter handle, you have recently mentioned Mahatma ji's favorite bhajan, which is Vaishnav Jan to tene ke rakhiye je peed parai jane re. Help me explain our viewers, whose pain are you referring to? Whether it's your party, the ruling party, government, or the country.
This has been my favorite bhajan, Kailash ji, when I was a child. And the city I come from is Udaipur, which is very close to Gujarat. So the influence of Gujarat,
absolutely,
the Vaishnavite influence of Gujarat is very widely felt in Udaipur.
Yes.
And Narsi Mehta's bhajan has always inspired me, this particular bhajan, and I've been hearing various versions of this bhajan. So this bhajan talks about the pain of a common man, common human being. So that's what I am trying to talk about.
So when you mean the common man, is it because of the current circumstance, the current government? Whom are you referring to?
This has nothing to do with governments. When Narsi Mehta wrote this bhajan, suffering is akin to mankind. Whichever country you are in, whichever government you have, people do suffer. Suffering is a part of life. But just as suffering is a part of life, empathy and sympathy should also be part of our personality, of our character, of the way we conduct ourselves in public life or in private life.
Pawan ji, many analysts, political pundits who are there, they are comparing Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji with Srimati Indira Gandhi ji in their comparison is about their decision making, their governance, their entire way of handling the entire administration. How do you comment on that?
I don't see any comparison whatsoever. I mean, I welcome the compliment to Mrs. Indira Gandhi that everybody wants to be compared with her. That's a compliment which we will, in all humility, receive. But there is no comparison between Narendra Modi ji and Indira Gandhi ji, for the simple reason that Indira ji fought for India. Indira ji was always trying to fight. If you've been a student of history, remember the PL 480 days. Remember the kind of threat America issued when we were trying to liberate Bangladesh. Those challenges were different. Those times were different. Those leaders were different. You can't compare Narendra Modi ji with Indira ji at all. She was not out to please America. She never tried to please superpowers. The world was divided, mind you. There was Cold War, and the height of Cold War. The world was divided between Russia and America. And she knew what she had to do when it came to liberating Bangladesh from Pakistan. And look at the way she handled it. Look at the way she looked into the eyes of America and successfully liberated Bangladesh. How can you compare Narendra Modi with Indira Gandhi?
I mean, why not? I mean, those who say that if today you look at all the foreign policies, the kind of outreach that the Honorable Prime Minister has had on our external affairs is something which is commendable. If you even see the China standoff currently.
What is the impact of that outreach? Let's start with the China standoff. What did Indira Gandhi do with China? Now compare that with what Narendra Modi is doing with China. Mr. Narendra Modi doesn't have the courage to even say that China tried to intrude into our territory in Ladakh. He gave them a clean chit. Indira Gandhi would have never done that. Indira Gandhi avenged the Indo-China war. When she became the prime minister, she gave them a befitting reply. We can't forget what she did on the Sikkim border. So let's not compare at all. There is no comparison. If Narendra Modi wants to be compared with Indira Gandhi, for all I care, let him do it. But let him first do something close to what Indira Gandhi did. You can't be afraid of China. You can't be afraid of he cannot utter the word China. In an all-party meeting, he gives a clean chit to China and then expects to be compared with Indira Gandhi? I'm sorry, he must be dreaming.
But if you see, just taking this matter, our topic a little more forward, you see Australian Prime Minister praising about Narendra Modi ji in the Australian Parliament and world leaders across. I mean, the kind of, in his first tenure as Prime Minister after 2014, the kind of relations that he has built with other nations, be it Israel, be it Australia, be it Russia, America, and all other states, and even the Saudi Kingdom, I mean, the UAE, the Middle East. Don't you feel it's commendable?
Kailash ji, foreign policy of a country is in continuity, irrespective of who is in the government. Whether it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, whether it was Narasimha Rao ji, whether it was Dr. Manmohan Singh, whether it was Rajiv Gandhi in the past, or whether it's Mr. Narendra Modi now, or whether whoever it will be in 2024. Foreign policy does not get influenced by the changes in domestic politics, government in India. It has to be a continuous process. So if one prime minister decides to visit several countries and do diaspora events there, trying to influence domestic politics by a foreign travel, it's his style. I won't like to comment on his style. Different people have different styles. Different leaders adopt different methods to attract their domestic constituency. But as far as Mr. Narendra Modi is concerned, for him, foreign policy is nothing but diaspora events. No, you can't have a foreign policy by event management. All that we have seen in the first tenure of Mr. Narendra Modi is diaspora events in America, diaspora events in Japan, diaspora events in Singapore. Wherever he's gone, he's tried to just do diaspora events. And what is the purpose of those diaspora events? He just loves events. He loves mega events. Does it help the country? No, if it did help the country, would China have intruded in our territory? Would we have felt so isolated the way we... Where has it backed off?
But
let's debate China. Where has it? Today again, Depsang again, they are trying to bother us. Where has it backed off? Tell me.
Government
has now let's start discussing finger 4, finger 8. Let's start. I want to ask you, Kailash ji, where the Indian Patrolling Party was patrolling in April 2020, are we able to patrol the same points in Ladakh? Then I'll agree with you that China has backed off. So let's talk facts.
The government
is the prime minister. Here is the prime minister who denied that there was an incursion. What do you expect of that prime minister? The prime minister who doesn't have the courage to say yes, there was an excursion. He gives a clean chit to China, for God's sake. Thank God this year he wished birthday greetings to Dalai Lama. Last year he didn't have the courage to wish Dalai Lama. Why? Why are you so afraid of China? A year before that, Mr. Narendra Modi's government cancelled the events to honor Dalai Lama in Delhi. So afraid of China. Why are you afraid of China? अरे इंडिया को डरना नहीं चाहिए भाई, चाइना से क्यों डरना आप?
आपको डरना किसी से भी नहीं चाहिए, क्यों डरे?
किसी से भी क्यों डरना चाहिए साहब?
आप तो
लाल आंख दिखाने की बात करते थे और आप यहाँ नाम लेने की हिम्मत नहीं जुटा पा रहे। आप दलाई लामा को के ऑनर में जो कार्यक्रम होना था उसको निरस्त कर देते। आप 2 साल तक तो दलाई लामा को जन्मदिन का शुभकामनाएं देने से घबराते हैं, क्यों? किसका डर है आपको?
पवन जी, अगर बात की जाए 2024 की, कहीं ना कहीं there is a sentiment that all opposition should come together, and do you feel that Ms. Mamata Banerjee's face can come up as a leader of opposition, a united opposition for 2024? Why can't a candidate come from the East? Your thoughts on that?
Kailash ji, the misfortune of politics starts when you only start discussing individuals. Narendra Modi wants politics of India to be individual centric. Politics of India cannot be about Modi or about any individual. Politics has to be about issues. But एक हमारे मन में एक अजीब सी मानसिकता आ जाती है, पूरी राजनीति एक व्यक्ति के आसपास केंद्रित रहे, यह संभव नहीं है। पूरी विदेश नीति व्यक्ति के आसपास केंद्रित रहे, यह संभव नहीं है। तो मुद्दों पर राजनीति होनी चाहिए।
जनता तो लीडर देखती है ना सर।
जनता भी मुद्दे देखती है। आपको और मुझे यहाँ टीवी स्टूडियोज में बैठे हुए लगता है कि जनता चेहरे देखती है। माफ कीजिएगा, जनता मुझसे और आपसे कहीं ज्यादा समझदार है, वो मुद्दे
बिल्कुल, भारत की जनता बहुत समझदार है,
बहुत समझदार है, वो मुद्दे देखती है। मुद्दे कौन उठाता है वो महत्वपूर्ण है, बिल्कुल महत्वपूर्ण है। क्या मुद्दे उठाए गए वो महत्वपूर्ण है, किसने उठाए वो भी महत्वपूर्ण है, और कैसे उठाए वो भी महत्वपूर्ण है, और कब उठाए वो भी महत्वपूर्ण। अब आप एक एक 4 मैंने सवाल आपके सामने रखे, मैं चारों का जवाब देता हूं
जी।
पिछले 7 साल में भूमि अधिग्रहण से लेकर, राफेल से लेकर, नोटबंदी से लेकर, जीएसटी से लेकर, कोविड मिसमैनेजमेंट से लेकर, पेगासस से लेकर, किसने मुद्दे उठाए? किसान आंदोलन तक किसने मुद्दे उठाए? एक नेता का नाम आप मुझे बताइए। मैं नहीं बोलूंगा, मैं बोलूंगा तो आप कहेंगे आप तो अपनी पार्टी की बात करते हैं। एक राष्ट्रीय नेता विपक्ष का जिसने ये तमाम मुद्दों पर अपनी आवाज बुलंद की, उसका नाम मैं बोलूं या आप बोलेंगे बात बराबर है, वो है राहुल गांधी। मुद्दे भी सही वक्त पे उठाए, सही मुद्दे उठाए, और जब विपक्ष में किसी और व्यक्ति ने ये मुद्दे नहीं उठाए थे तब से वो अपनी आवाज बुलंद करके आया, वो अकेला अपनी आवाज बुलंद करता आया। तो मुझे इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है कि ये देश भी जानता है, देश समझता है कि अगर एक कोई विपक्ष का नेता है जो मोदी जी के सामने आंखों में आंखें डाल के बात करने की हिम्मत रखता है, वो है राहुल गांधी।
चलिए, अभी अगर इसकी बात की जाए, देन I mean, Pawan ji, there is a writing on the wall with regards to the leadership in your party. I mean, कितने सारे जो कांग्रेस के साथ जुड़े थे, जो अब कांग्रेस के साथ नहीं है, ओपनली मीडिया में आके बोल चुके हैं कि there is a leadership crisis within the Congress party. How do you respond to that? I mean, when would Congress understand the writing on the wall?
What is the writing on the wall?
There is a leadership crisis.
What is the crisis? I'm sorry, but I'm asking you, what is the crisis?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are people who are telling in the media कि leadership crisis है. अगर आप turn by turn,
you ask them crisis क्या है?
2000 कौन lead कर रहा है? There is a dissent within the party. That's why the media is asking, Pawan ji.
There is no dissent. No, you're free to ask. Even if there was no dissent, you're free to ask. We have our Congress president, which is Sonia Gandhi. We had Rahul ji as our president, who took the responsibility of 2019 election. Tell me how many leaders, and I ask you very straightforward question, within my own party, how many leaders had the courage to take the responsibility of a defeat and withdraw?
But the defeat was astounding also.
Wait. Let me just finish. I'm not saying it was not astounding. We are not discussing the defeat right now. We are discussing the leadership. So let's focus on leadership. The one man who had the moral courage to stand up and say, look, I take the responsibility and resign. Was he the only one responsible? I won't say that. All of us were responsible. Who all resigned? Just one man resigned. It's not a crisis. Sonia ji is our working president. I personally feel very, very seriously, I'm very keen that Rahul Gandhi should take over. A lot of us, all of us want him to take over. There is no crisis. BJP wants the country to believe that there is a leadership crisis. Here is a party in which the leader has the courage to own responsibility of a defeat. We are not like BJP. Tell me how was Nadda elected? Tell me if Amit Shah was elected. Tell me if Advani was elected as the president of the BJP. This is the only party जिसके बारे में आप ये बात करते हैं कि साहब आपका अध्यक्ष चुना जाता है या नहीं चुना जाता. उस पार्टी से पूछिए ना आप कि अमित शाह चुने गए थे. किसने बनाया था अमित शाह को? चलिए छोड़िए अमित शाह.
पार्टी देश में चुनी गई.
छोड़िए अमित शाह को. क्या मोहन भागवत का चुनाव होता है? क्या आरएसएस चुनाव लड़ती है? फिर क्यों हम और मेरे और आपके जीवन का निर्धारण वो करती है?
भाजपा और कांग्रेस तो चुनाव लड़ती है देश में सर. भाजपा और कांग्रेस.
भाजपा क्या अध्यक्ष चुनता है? अपना वोट से चुना जाता है. अमित शाह अध्यक्ष चुना गया था, वोट से चुना गया था. बताइए ना जरा. उनसे तो कोई नहीं
ये पूछ रही है या मीडिया ये पूछ रही है आप कैसे चुनते हैं, कोई कैसे चुनता है, वो एक अलग बात है. फुल टाइम वर्किंग कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट कांग्रेस कब चुनेगी?
कैलाश जी, मैं राष्ट्रीय प्रवक्ता हूं मेरी पार्टी का. मेरा एक काम है. क्या मेरा काम पे कोई प्रभाव पड़ता है कि मेरे फुल टाइम प्रेसिडेंट है या पार्ट टाइम प्रेसिडेंट है, उससे मेरे भाषा शैली पर?
आपके नहीं, पार्टी का देखिए ना सर.
अरे साहब, पार्टी हम ही जैसे लोगों से तो बनती है. तो मेरी बात तो समाप्त हो जाने दीजिए कैलाश
जी.
कोई महासचिव है, क्या उसके काम पे कोई प्रभाव पड़ेगा? कोई प्रवक्ता है, उसके काम पे कोई प्रभाव पड़ेगा? अरे जिसको जो काम दे रखा है वो अपना काम ठीक करे. ये क्या मतलब है कि आप कह रहे हैं ऊपर देखिए
Members of the party, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but members of the party can't work in silos.
How do you know that they are not working, and how do you know they are working?
There has to be an integrated effort where the party should
Who
come
told you that there is no
as a united unit?
Who told you that we are not united and where we don't have an integrated system? I'll tell you the system if you have the patience to listen.
Absolutely.
We have general secretaries in charge of states. We have a general secretary in charge of the organization. We are constantly, it's a very well-oiled system, 135-year-old party. You're telling us that we are not integrated. I'm sorry. You must be dreaming.
I am not dreaming, sir.
नहीं, आपकी बात नहीं कर रहा. आप पत्रकार हैं, आपके लिए नहीं कह रहा. जो लोग ये सोचते हैं वो उनके लिए कह रहा. आप सवाल पूछने का आपका अधिकार है, आप जरूर पूछिए.
बिल्कुल.
लेकिन वो पार्टियां जिनके पीछे नागपुर में लेकर रिमोट कंट्रोल लेकर अनइलेक्टेड लोग बैठे हैं, एक अनरजिस्टर्ड संस्था है आरएसएस, जो तय करती है कि इस देश का प्रधानमंत्री किसको आगे रखा जाए, उनसे कोई सवाल नहीं पूछा जाता. 135 साल पुरानी जिसका एक इतिहास पार्टी का, जिसमें एक लोकतंत्र सामने दिखता है, उससे पूछा जा रहा है अरे साहब आप साइलोज में काम करते हैं, आप क्या इंटीग्रेटेड अप्रोच नहीं है, आप क्या सिस्टम्स नहीं, माफ कीजिएगा सिस्टम्स नहीं होते तो इतने साल जीतते हम चुनाव में, इतने साल सरकारें चलाते. अगर सिस्टम नहीं होते तो हमारे सिस्टम इस देश की तमाम राजनीतिक दलों से सबसे बेहतरीन सिस्टम है.
चलिए वो देखा जाएगा कि 2014 के चुनाव के नतीजे क्या आता है उसके ऊपर एंड पार्टी का फ्यूचर. हाँ 2024. अब बात की जाए मध्य प्रदेश की तो ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया जी का नाम आता है, जितेंद्र प्रसाद जी का नाम आता है. हाउ मेनी डू यू फील मोर विल जस्ट जंप द बस?
देखिए कैलाश जी, when the going gets tough, the tough get going is something which you and I grew up reading about. This is a time for people like me to struggle. And if I can't struggle, if I'm afraid of struggling, then I have other avenues open for me. So it depends. It's a matter of individual choice. Do I want to fight for my ideology or do I want to give up the fight?
It is a matter of on somebody else's as well. It is a matter of introspection for the party as well. There were talks of
party,
pilot G.
I'm sorry, Kailash ji, party means party is a collection of individuals. Each one of us should introspect. If I introspect, I have to fight for my ideology. Irrespective of who my president is, irrespective of whether I got 50 seats or 40 seats, I don't care. I'll fight for my ideology. That's me. Now, I can't comment on what Mr. Scindia felt or what Mr. Jitin Prasada felt. I can't comment
after so many years, you must have felt something, sir. And that must be coming from the party itself.
Ask them. I don't ask me. You can see
I am
me
asking you as a representative of the party whom they left.
Sir, I have given you my response.
And
people like me.
And an entire state was receded.
Sir, I have given you a very straight answer. Leaders who are fighting every day include Rahul Gandhi, fighting Mr. Narendra Modi and RSS every day. That's a strength of character I admire. That's my inspiration. I fight for my ideology. Those who don't want to fight, I don't have any right to comment on them. Ask them why don't they want to fight. Please ask them. Don't ask me. I am here to fight. You ask me why am I fighting, I'll give you 10 answers. Don't ask me why is he not fighting. Why did he run away? That's not for me to answer.
Actually, my next question is that only, since you said that you asked me why I'm fighting, I'll give you 10 answers. Don't you think that sometimes, I mean, this I'm asking as an individual to Pawan Khera, you are defending the undefendable?
What is undefendable? You think the country is undefendable?
No, I'm talking about the party.
India. No, sir, I'm defending India. I am defending an ideology which, the only ideology which India can live with is the centrist.
So that is a very big statement to make, that this is the only ideology India can live with. India has lived from 2000 to 2021 also.
Because you didn't finish, let me finish my sentence. You would have understood what I'm saying. The only ideology which India can live with is the centrist ideology. That's my ideology. That's the Congress ideology. It's neither extreme left nor extreme right. It's the union of left and right. That's centrism for you. I fight for India. Now you think India is indefensible? I'm sorry, I don't agree with you.
I'm not saying that.
As long as I am alive,
my question meant your party.
My party and India, I don't see any difference. Congress and India, the character is the same. Congress in India, the soul is the same. As long as Kailash Adhikari is alive, as long as Pawan Khera is alive, India can never be indefensible. India will always be defensible. You and I will defend India.
Absolutely. It's my nation and it's our duty.
Absolutely.
Now, regarding the Pegasus software, the entire scandal, I mean, press conferences shall happen, will happen. How is your party having so strong notion about the fact that there is concrete evidence about government's role in the Pegasus software, the tapping?
80 different journalists came together across the world. There is a leaked database, which again a French organization came up with. Has the government denied that they have not used Pegasus? I haven't heard any such denial. At stake is the integrity of our institutions. Supreme Court of India. You can't have officers of the Supreme Court, their phones getting hacked. CBI director, his phone getting hacked. Senior leaders of the ruling party, their phones getting hacked. Opposition leaders' phone getting hacked. The government has to say yes or no. Let the government come out and deny that they did not buy Pegasus. And that the moment they deny it, they should launch an inquiry. Then who was hacking our phones? It is in the national interest. And this is so-called nationalist party. A so-called nationalist party should be more worried than Kailash Adhikari and Pawan Khera. After all, who was trying to tap the phones of the CBI director, Alok Verma, or Mr. Asthana, or the Supreme Court employee, or Rahul Gandhi, or journalists, or women members of the families of bureaucrats? How dare any other country try and hack our phones? The government should be worried. आपने नहीं कराया, चलिए बोल दीजिए हमने नहीं कराया. और अगर आपने नहीं कराया तो फिर कौन करा रहा था? ये आपको जानना ज्यादा जरूरी है, क्योंकि आप सरकार में करिए ना इंक्वायरी. क्यों नहीं कर रहे? किस बात से डर रहे हैं? एक बात मुझे कैलाश जी आप बताइए. जब लद्दाख में चीन घुसता है तो प्रधानमंत्री जी चीन को क्लीन चिट दे रहे होते हैं. जब इजराइल की एक प्राइवेट कंपनी पर आरोप लगता है कि वो हैकिंग हो रही है, तो प्रधानमंत्री जी इजराइल की कंपनी को डिफेंड कर रहे हैं, बनिस्बत इसके कि देश के सीबीआई डायरेक्टर को डिफेंड करें, देश के सुप्रीम कोर्ट को डिफेंड करें, देश के विपक्ष को डिफेंड करें, आरएसएस को डिफेंड करें, क्योंकि आरएसएस के भी नेताओं के नाम है हैकिंग. ये किस तरह के प्रधानमंत्री हैं कि देश के साथ खड़े ही नहीं होना चाहते? चीन के साथ खड़े हैं, इजराइल के साथ खड़े हैं, भारत के साथ नहीं खड़े. क्यों साहब, क्यों नहीं खड़े आप?
चलिए, सवाल पूछना आपका हक है, आप पूछिए सरकार को सवाल. Pawan ji, now talking about the parliament session, it is in the interest of all that the parliament functions, because वहीं से देश का पूरा कारोबार चलता है. The executive the decisions take place, the bills get introduced, meaningful debate should happen. Don't you think that the parliament should function normally in the interest of taxpayers' money? I mean, creating a ruckus in the parliament, not allowing it to function, just gives a way to the government to take the ordinance route.
हम तो 50 लोगों की पार्टी है, सांसदों की. आप तो कहते हैं हम तो कुछ है ही नहीं, तो हमसे क्यों पूछते हैं? सवाल तो उनसे पीछे जिनकी जिम्मेदारी है पार्लियामेंट चलाना.
50 भी तो रकस तो क्रिएट कर सकते हैं.
तो आप तो कहते हैं ना, आप जैसे लोगों ने, पत्रकारों ने तो हमें राइट ऑफ कर दिया कि राहुल गांधी तो कुछ है ही नहीं, कांग्रेस पार्टी तो कुछ है नहीं. तो हमसे मत पूछिए, ये सवाल उनसे पूछिए जो 303 की संख्या लेकर
वो भी तो
घोड़े पे सवार होकर, खत्म होने दीजिए ना, घोड़े पे सवार होकर जो मुद्दे देश के लिए महत्वपूर्ण हैं, वो किसानों से जुड़े हुए मुद्दे हों, वो पेगासस से जुड़े हुए मुद्दे हों, वो कोविड से जुड़े हुए मुद्दे हों, लाखों मौतों से जुड़े हुए मुद्दे हों, उन पे वो चर्चा नहीं करना चाहते, चर्चा से भाग रहे हैं. अरे साहब, स्टैंडिंग कमेटी से तो चर्चा से भाग जाती है भारतीय जनता पार्टी, पार्लियामेंट में क्या चर्चा करेंगे? आपने कल देखा कैसे स्टैंडिंग कमेटी से भाग गए. तो जो स्टैंडिंग कमेटी से भाग जाएगी, उससे आप उम्मीद करते हैं वो संसद चलने देगी? यह संसद भारतीय जनता पार्टी नहीं चलने देना चाहती, क्योंकि संसद चलेगी तो उसको आईना दिखाया जाएगा, आईना वो देखना नहीं चाहती.
अगर बात की जाए 2014 से लेकर अब तक, पवन जी, ये कोई इस बात को डिनाई नहीं कर सकता कि एक भी कोई भी भारत के शहर में एक भी आतंकवादी हमला नहीं हुआ. द इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम्स आर सो स्ट्रॉन्ग. एंड अगर जब मुंबई में हमला हुआ था, एक बार मुझे खत्म कर लेने दीजिए फिर आप बेशक बोलिए. मुंबई में जब 26/11 का हमला हुआ था, तब पी चिदम्बरम साहब ने ये कहा था प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस को ऑन रिकॉर्ड कि 31 महीने बाद कुछ हुआ. तो ये क्या जवाब हुआ? आज 7 साल हो गए भारत की जनता फील सिक्योर कि एक भी आतंकवादी हमला नहीं हुआ सर, एक भी आतंकवादी हमला नहीं हुआ?
मैं बोल दूं,
यू क्रेडिट द गवर्नमेंट एज एन इंडिविजुअल, एज अ सिटीजन ऑफ द नेशन?
आपको बहुत जल्दी है क्रेडिट देने की। मैं बोल दूं
जी,
उरी में क्या हुआ, पठानकोट में क्या हुआ, पुलवामा में क्या हुआ, कानपुर में क्या हुआ, अमरनाथ यात्रा पे क्या हुआ, एयर बेसिस, सैन्य ठिकानों पर पहले कब हमले हुए थे? इसका जवाब कौन देगा हमें? आरडीएक्स आ गया, कहां गया पेगासस? तब क्यों नहीं लगाया था पेगासस? आरडीएक्स आया, 45 जवान हमारे शहीद हो गए, वहां तब तो पेगासस याद नहीं आया। पेगासस याद आता है आपको आलोक वर्मा पर, पेगासस याद आता है आपको अस्थाना पर, पेगासस याद आता है राहुल गांधी पर या दत्तात्रेय होसबोले पर। आतंकवादियों पर तो आपने पेगासस नहीं लगाया। आपको तब पेगासस नहीं लगाया अपना जब चीन घुस रहा था लद्दाख में, तब आपको नहीं मालूम पड़ा, और आप कहते हैं आतंकवादी हमले नहीं हुए। पुलवामा क्या था, कानपुर क्या था, उरी क्या था, पठानकोट क्या था, अमरनाथ यात्रा क्या थी? आपको मैं लिस्ट मैं दूं आपको? कमाल की बात कर रहे हैं आप। ये किस तरह का सवाल है?
जवाब भी दिया
सरकार ने, क्या जवाब दिया? आपको मैंने लिस्ट दिखाई, अभी तो आधे बताए हैं। सैन्य ठिकानों पर कितने ज्यादा हमले हुए हैं, अभी मैंने सिर्फ 5 बताया। आप इससे कहीं ज्यादा हुए, मुझसे ज्यादा आप जानते हैं।
इससे कहीं ज्यादा 2004 से 14 में हुए।
तो आप तुलना ही करेंगे तो सैन्य ठिकानों पर तो नहीं हुए थे। आरडीएक्स हाई सिक्योरिटी जोन में घुस जाए और सरकार को पता नहीं चले। कहां है जेम्स बॉन्ड सरकार के, जो अपने आप को जेम्स बॉन्ड कहते हैं, कहां है वो? तब मैं फिर आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, मेरी तरफ से आप सरकार से पूछिएगा, क्योंकि आप तो बड़ी निडरता से पूछते हैं। पूछिए उनसे कि पेगासस वहां क्यों नहीं लगाया था साहब? देश के दुश्मनों पर पेगासस नहीं लगाओगे, अपने विरोधियों पर लगाओगे। भले वो अपनी पार्टी में आपके बैठे हैं विरोधी, या आरएसएस में बैठे हो, या कांग्रेस में बैठे हो, या सीबीआई में बैठे हो, या जुडिशरी में बैठे हो, वहां आप जासूसी करवा देंगे। और पाकिस्तान पे नहीं कराएंगे, इमरान खान पे नहीं कराएंगे, दाऊद इब्राहिम पे नहीं कराएंगे, चीन पर नहीं कराएंगे। कैसी सरकार चला रहे हो? मजाक बना रखा है सरकार का।
चलिए पवन जी, Congress's focus on states like Gujarat, Goa, Manipur, where election is going to be held soon.
Yes, of course. We have strengthened our organization there. In Gujarat, we are in the process of strengthening our organization. Last election, you saw in Gujarat, we came very close, and Mr. Narendra Modi had to resort to all kinds of stunts that he's known for to win that election. But this time around, he'll find it very difficult because people of India have suffered. COVID mismanagement is something which Gujarat has suffered terribly. I mean, it was one of the media outlets which exposed the real numbers. We've seen what happened in Gujarat. We've seen what happened in the country. So this time around, I don't think Mr. Modi's rhetoric, his speeches, all those things that he does will work. People of India want a change now.
Do you feel the government will match its vaccination deadline?
I ask you because if it were to match, what is the deadline? Now the government is running away from the deadline. The deadline was December 2021. To meet that deadline, the government has to ensure that there's 86,50,000 vaccinations every day. Now you tell me, is that the daily number we are able to match? No, we are not. So if we are unable to match that number, 86,50,000 vaccinations every day and 35 crore vaccines to be procured every month. We are not matching this figure. So if we are not matching this figure, I don't think we'll be able to meet the deadline. And you've seen what the IMF said yesterday. The IMF has downgraded our projections because, and it has mentioned, because of issues of vaccine. So vaccine is not just to make sure that our health stays good and we stay alive. Vaccine is also for our economy. So lives and livelihoods both. And both have suffered.
Both go hand in hand.
Yeah. And mismanagement has been visible all across the country.
Chali Pawanji, thank you so much with that for joining us on this episode of Visionary Talks. It was a complete pleasure hosting you. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for also joining us. Thank you, Pawanji. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.